unknown patient down, and this is how we go in and do the assessment. So, starting everything off at the top, BSI scene safety. When I come in, first thing I want to do is make sure I ask my proctor, what am I being called out to? Because there's a big difference between officer involved, man down, unknown patient down, unresponsive in a park bathroom. That's a lot of different scenarios, so I just want to know what I'm getting called out to. We'll say auto versus pedestrian. She is the pedestrian. So I now approach, I know that she got tagged by a car, and this is how I'm going to start assessment. So BSI scene safety, auto versus pedestrian. I come in, general impression, 20s female, down on the ground, in obvious distress. I have one patient. This appears to obviously be a mechanism of injury. I do think I need additional resources, so I have my people get ready to tap in. And then as far as C-spine, I'm going to go ahead and take it. So I'm going to have you hold the head still, and don't let it go until I tell you. So now my partner's holding the head still. He's taking C-spine. I'm now going to start my assessment. So I come in, general impression. Again, I already gave you 20-year-old female, down on the ground, unknown trauma. At this point, general impression, or APU, do a sternal rub or a trap pinch. Don't do both. Do one or the other. Check for painful stimulus. Patient's unresponsive. So at this point, I'm worried about airway. So I'm going to have my partner go ahead, hold C-spine with his knees and start bagging, drop an OPA as need be. Again, chief complaint is altered mental status secondary to trauma. So I have airway boy doing airway things for me. I don't have any gear for you, but we'll say holding C-spine, OPA, and bagging as need be. Attached to high flow oxygen. Proctor, do I see any injuries? Obviously interfering with breathing. I don't see any per the proctor. So now I move down to circulation. I check a pulse really quick, make sure it's appropriate, check for skins, see what that's like, and then check for any bleeding. Do I see any major bleeding? And wouldn't you know it, she doesn't have a left foot. Why not? So, no left foot. So what do I do first? Correct pressure. And guess what the examiner states? The wound continues to bleed. Tourniquet. We can either go below the knee or above the knee, depending on situation. Place my tourniquet. Now, because she's pale, cool, diaphoretic, and has a weak, rapid pulse, I'm going to go ahead and cover her with a blanket when I get the chance in the back of the ambulance. Before I do that, at this point, I'm going to strip clothes off to find any other major injuries, and I'm going to perform my rapid trauma scan. So with my rapid scan, I'm going to start at the head. Keep your hands where they are. I'm checking for any major trauma, any crunchy bits. Palpating the chest to make sure that that's stable. Abdomen, all four quadrants. Pelvis, check the legs, check the arms. I don't see any obvious trauma, a little bit of road rash, nothing major besides the nub in the foot. So now we're going to go ahead and transport. I'm going to have you come over here and help me out, and then you're going to help me out as well. We're going to C-spine her. Before I do, I'm checking pulses in all extremities, or at least the three that are still there. I can't get motor and sensory because she's unresponsive. So she can't squeeze or finger, toe, that kind of thing, because she's unresponsive. To place my collar, I'm going to measure from the trapezius muscle to the corner of the jaw. And for her, this is 3 fingers. This happens to be a number 3 collar, but my fingers are different than your fingers. On the side of this collar, there's a little measuring line that says measuring line for basic plastic. So I get 3 fingers and place it. So according to this collar is too short for my patient. But for the purposes of the sim, it's good to go. I now feel behind her neck for any step off. I slide this under. Try not to pinch me baby hair. In the real world, if I pinch your baby hair, do I care? No, she's got a bad neck and she's unresponsive. We got a lot of work things on her plate for today. But for testing, I'll go ahead and let her move around. Pull that tab through. Then go ahead and not have to do that move. Again, I've already checked for a step off, so I don't have to worry about that around the back of the neck. Now we're going to come over. You're going to help out. This is a spatula. She's a pancake. Cool? You're going to help me out over here. You're going to throw a hand on belt, hand on down on knee. Bring this arm around. And now I'm going to have her throw this arm up. I always like to put the arm up because it makes it a lot easier on the roll than the arm down. Now her head is running on the shoulder. It helps to support it versus having the head go up over the extra resistance of the head. Hand on shoulder, hand down here on pants. On the head count, no pressure. We're going up on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now with this hand, because we have a double up right here on the hip, I'm checking the back, bring step off, any decap, BCLS, all the way down, making sure there's no trauma, nothing weird. Slide the board under. We're going to go back on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we go back. So now with my patient, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to slide her down a little bit. I don't like where she is on the board. What happens if I just push her hips over?
back to get all squared. So we have to go down and then come back up. So I'm gonna have you help out on the torso. I'm gonna have you go down to the feet. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down to the patient's left about a foot. You can put your foot on the board. Make sure the board doesn't slide. All right. So down about a foot on the head count. 1, 2. Now we're gonna come up. I want her temple in the middle of this mat. 1, 2. Perfect. So now I have her on the board. I'm fairly happy with where she's located. Head boy is still stuck on the head. The worst job in the world. You just stuck there for like 30 minutes sometimes. I'm now going to place these straps. Everybody's got their own way that they like to place the straps. There isn't really a right way written out. I always suggest that you guys start at the shoulders and work your way down, because what's more important, her torso or her legs? Torso. So, not a big deal on her, but if I'm trying to restrain somebody who's super tall, I get the spacing all right, and then I end up with the spacing way too short coming to the torso. I would rather do some weird shenanigans down at the feet than try to do that up at the shoulders and torso. So, just something to consider. So, what we're going to do, you're going to match me over there. So, go to this one right under her shoulder. Right now. We're going to go ahead and keep arms in because she's unresponsive. I want to make sure her arms aren't flailing out and get smacked on stuff. So we'll go ahead and pull. We're in the beginning of class when you guys all had social norms. Go. So, body's restrained, torso's restrained. Fairly happy with that coming down. At this point now, I'm going to secure the head. On the head, these are head blocks. Usually there's a little foam piece. I just realized this thing doesn't have the foam piece on it. It's come off along the way. But these will still work. I want to place these soft side of the head. So you just slide your hand out and hold on to the block. Same thing, hold on to the block. And then strap. And then just a piece of tape over top of that. There is a chin piece that is optional. Some people will say chin piece, but that is an optional piece. As long as the torso is, the head is secured, you're good to go. You can go ahead and let her go. At this point, I'm going to check pulses in the wrists, pulses in the feet, and we're going to drive. Again, we're in the back of the ambulance. I'm going to cover her with a blanket so she doesn't get super cold. On the way to the ambulance, let me know what happened to her. Hit by a car, lost her foot somehow. Cool. Don't know anything else. Try to get speed, type of car, or whatever else. We're driving. Now in the back of the ambulance, I'm going to get a full set of vitals. So full PR bells, and then I'm going to do my detailed secondary. So, starting up at the head, I'm going to check the scalp. I'm going to do my pen light, check her eyes, her nose, her mouth, her ears, check for any blood, any CSF, any trauma, anything that's going to cause an airway obstruction. Checking for raccoon eyes or battle signs. Coming down to the neck, I checked for step-offs earlier. I'm checking for midline trachea and jugular venous distension, making sure neither one's there. Listening to lungs, looking at chest, and palpating, making sure it's stable. Coming down to the stomach, looking at stomach, feeling stomach, making sure I'm checking for rigidity, tenderness, anything that's abnormal. Make sure there's no discoloration either. Pelvis, in and down. Checking for genitals and perineum. I'm checking for bleeding, incontinence, priapism, anything that could be abnormal for my patient. Checking legs, coming down. Checking for any abrasions, and again, double checking to see what's actually happened down at that little nubbo leg. Seeing what's actually there. If it hasn't already been wrapped, I'm going to wrap it up, make it nice and pretty to keep it clean. It's not bleeding, but I am going to keep it clean because it is an exposed wound. Checking arms. Again, they are restrained, so I'm going to check PMS, make sure that those are intact. Manage any little secondary wounds that I find. Now I'm going to check my patient every 5 minutes and basically continue and wrap to the hospital. That's it. That's the whole trauma. So the majority of it is basically strap her down. So, want to help me unstrap?